very first episode of Leo's Garage. In today's episode, we will be installing heated seats on a 2011 Toyota Prius. First thing you want to do is you want to disconnect the battery. Now in the 2011 Prius, the battery is actually in the back, not the front. You have to lift up the carpet, it's in the right corner. So lift up the carpet, it's actually located right underneath here. To get to it, you have to remove the access door and carpet. Move it out of your way. Then you want to remove this black tray and this piece that goes on this side that I've already removed. Remove that. Simply lift it. Store it to the side. And now you'll see you can lift this piece up. It simply comes off, and there is your battery. Disconnect the positive first, followed by the negative. Now that the battery is disconnected, we're gonna move forward with the disassembling of the car seat. There are four size 14 millimeter socket bolts here that you have to take off to remove the seat. There's one. There's the second one. And there's two more behind the seat, which you'll have to move the seat forward and back just to get access to them. But before we do that, let's look underneath and disconnect some cables. Now I've already disconnected these cables since I've unplugged the battery. The reason we unplugged the battery is because this yellow cable goes to your side airbags that are in your seat. So we don't want them to detonate accidentally. So we disconnect the battery, unhook the cables, and then we unhook this other cable, which I believe that's the cable that senses your if your seatbelt's on. Once you disconnect them, make sure everything's loose. Take the 4 bolts out, and then your seat should be ready to be pulled out. Removing these these panels here on the side door to access the fuses and start running the wiring for it first. That way, once I take the seat out, all I have to do is install the mats and plug it right up. So here, to remove this panel, we should have to pop it open, try to grab a good grip, and just pop it. And they start popping up. As you can see, there's just clips that hold it on into place. Do that until you get this off, and move on to this other piece. Then behind that should be your fuse box. With pieces removed, now you can see that you have access to run your cable down into your main harness here, and you also have access to the fuses, which I don't know if you can see. Let's see if we can get a better shot of them. There is your fuse box, and that's where we will be trying to tap in. If we can't tap into there, we're going to tap into one of these feeds from this harness. Let's remove this panel. Let's see what we have. Alright, looks like we might have to refer to the owner's manual for better definitions of what these are. Actually, you can see here, seat heater 10A. That is one that we can use. Bring it closer. See if it'll adjust. We can sometimes use these additional features that were supposed to come with the car that we never paid for, but they're still wired into the main harness. So let's see if Toyota was graceful enough to hook everything up behind the scenes and then just leave out the main components of the seat heater, where we can just tap into with our cheaper heat seaters. Alright, now that the seat's been removed and we've laid out our harness here that we got from our Doberman installation, you can run these underneath the carpet here. See how it's easily accessible. You can run it out to here, probably feed it from here, run it down to there, have it come out here, and then feed it down here where we can wire it into the car's main harness. Let's do that. Alright, now that we've successfully ran the wires, you can take a look what the outcome looks like. Here you have your harness for the heated seats that's coming out of here. So this is going to be your high and your low. So you can test them and mark them when you have some power running to them. And all we did was just run it through here in this grommet here, this hole. Run it down through here. Had it come out right there, as you can see. And just ran it along this main harness here, using the same stock Toyota clips down into the harness here. And that's where we have our little fuse box that came with it. Here's our ground and our positive wire we're gonna hook up to our fuse box. And this is this plug here, you can see it. That one right there, that's loose. That one is going to go to your button, which we'll get to in a minute. But we're leaving this open. Once we get everything connected and secured, all we'll have to do is just tuck it in back here and reattach the covers, and then we should have some power to test our seat. All right. Okay, so after deciding where I want my power button, which is here, this is your power button, and here's the other end that hooks up to that harness down there. That hooks up to there. I decided to use one of these 4 blanks here, so I'm gonna pop this one out. We're gonna drill it out and put it there so it looks like a clean install, like it was meant to be. For the passenger side, I decided to go with where the stock OEM ones go and put one right there for the passenger side. So what we need to do here to get these out is pretty simple. You just get a flathead screwdriver, put it in there, and it pops out just like that. Alright, now we have these blanks. They're, if you mess one up, you can go to Toyota and buy it, probably like about $2 or $4. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill this out for the same size as our button for the power seat, and we'll put it in and run the wires. Alright, an hour later, X-Acto knife and a couple drill bits, I was able to drill out my hole for my button. I'll show you these in a closer view so you can see how I did it, and I even made a couple notches so that it'll stay in place. Right, here it is put together. Looks like it was factory designed to be like that. There's my wires going through, nice and flush. Alright, so now we come back to the car. Just simply put it through. Feed it through there. Alright, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen, in place. Come down. The wires that we'll be connecting are those 2 right there. So it's actually these 2. We'll connect them together, and we will just have to tap into the fuse panel. We need to find a good grounding source so we can ground our connections, and I chose this bolt right here that's going to the chassis. Already loosened it, so it's simply fitting in the connection, the ground connection, and screwing this back on. It's good to also scrape off some paint off these bolts. Sometimes they can be painted, so just kind of get a little Brillo pad or a little wire brush and just do a little light scrubbing. That way you get a good ground connection. Alright, now next we have to do is find a 12-volt source in there in the fuse box, and we'll connect our power, and then we should have flow and power to our heated seats, which we'll get to in a minute.